Greetings and welcome to STL Soccer Talk here at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and STLtoday.com. I'm Tom Timmermann, beat writer for St. Louis City for the Post-Dispatch, and she's Beth O'Malley. Hello, Beth.
Hello.
This is unlike any video or podcast we have done this year.
Something happened last week that has not happened this season.
In basically in a year since it has happened. So there have been a lot of podcasts under the bridge since this last happened. City SC went on the road and won a game.
Astounding.
And they at times did their best not to. It was not until the final whistle they were like, okay, but there were times they defeated San Jose 2-1, and everyone agreed afterwards, not their best game. However,
good enough to get the result.
As someone in the wide circle of City SC said as they were after practice today, it was the worst team in the league. but it's 3 points in the standings.
Exactly.
And you know, while they did, there's a lot of games they've been like that and they haven't won them.
Yes.
They have tied them. They've given up late goals and gotten a tie. And here they managed to get their way through to the end. It is a small step, but it is a step.
It is a step. It's a step that comes pretty late in the season, as we have discussed. They got 3 points on the road, but that's nice. It doesn't do much. No,
it's ironic, not ironic, or it's unfortunate or whatever, but they won a game, but they moved closer to elimination from the playoffs. And they are as close to elimination as you can be and not be eliminated.
Will that happen on Saturday?
Well, it all depends on what City does and what Minnesota does. Here, it's cut and dry. Here's the simple one.
Yeah.
4 games left. City's got to win them all. 4 games left. Minnesota's got to lose them all.
Okay.
Even a tie, anywhere along the way from Minnesota, is enough to clinch it. Okay. They need 1 point. So 1 is the kind of the tragic number here for City SC as what will doom them. So while it's not official, it is, as we said last week, it's pretty official. It's
right.
all but.
Yeah.
It's all but. But there is still hope. But it's a big step for them,
yes,
because they've taken a lot of steps and tripped and fallen and bumped their heads. But on this time, they went out there and they won the game. And you know, they got off to a quick start, which they do a lot of.
Yes.
And then didn't finish all that well. But they finished well enough to win the game. And that's what you got to do. That's what they have to do. Because at this point, it really is building for next year.
Exactly, so. Yes.
And also coming up this week, though, is the Soccer Capital Derby between Derby. I think we can say. It's funny that we were talking to Marcel Hartl today, and American writers trying to sound intelligent who say Derby, and he's like, well, in this Derby, there's a Derby game coming up. As everyone else calls it a Derby, but anyway.
Anyway, it is coming up.
Anyway, between the two cities that claim to be the soccer capital of America, Kansas City and St. Louis, and here they go. So Kansas City has already been eliminated. Their loss last week did them in, and so they can now kind of return a favor. And
be a spoiler in a little bit. Yeah.
But on Wednesday, depending when you watch this, they may have already done this if you're late getting to this, they play in the Open Cup final, Kansas City. And so they may be Open Cup champs, or they may be Open Cup losers.
Second placers.
The second placers, Open Cup runners-uppers,
yep,
if they against LAFC on Wednesday.
But it means also that they'll be tired when they hit St. Louis.
Potentially so. They will. They've been rotating their roster, and obviously now that they're eliminated, the Open Cup is the big game,
right,
for them.
Yes.
So Chris Durkin didn't practice on Tuesday. His knee still inflamed. Joachim Nielsen out there. He could play maybe just 30 minutes on Saturday, but as they get him back into the swing of things.
Yep.
Edward Lewin practiced part of it, left early. They're hopeful if they just watch how much he works this week, he can play. We'll talk about this more on the podcast in that room over there that you can't see.
Yes.
We'll have to talk to Allie about getting a shot just of the podcast room, just so we can splice that in. So
it's not much to look at.
It is literally not much.
No.
Not much to look at. As opposed to the lavish set we have here in the Brian Burwell studio.
Exactly.
So anyway, tune into the podcast for more. And you'll see this playing again and again at every story I write this week. Until then, for producer Ali Shallett, for Beth O'Malley, who puts up with me, I'm Tom Timmermann. Until next week, be seeing you.